Imagine a world where the unthinkable became the inevitable. This isn't a fictional tale, but a stark projection, a warning etched in the potential future we meticulously analyze. What if our strategic assumptions faltered and the delicate balance of power shattered? It was the year 2027. The global landscape, to the casual observer, appeared deceptively calm. Yet, beneath this veneer of peace, geopolitical fault lines were deepening, a silent tremor preceding a seismic event. Analysts understood the fragility, but perhaps underestimated the speed of escalation. The South China Sea, a crucible of competing interests, simmered with unresolved tensions. The presence of the USS Gerald R. Ford near Taiwan was a clear signal, a projection of power. Simultaneously, Chinese naval formations off Shanghai mirrored this resolve, a silent, formidable challenge to the existing order. In Washington, intelligence dashboards pulsed with critical alerts, reflecting escalating rhetoric and troop movements. Beijing's encrypted channels buzzed with directives, signaling a shift from deterrence to decisive action. The declaration, "Taiwan is ours," was not merely a statement. It was a strategic gambit, a direct challenge to global stability. The immediate US response, "We will not stand by," solidified the confrontation. Two nuclear-armed superpowers, burdened by decades of ideological and economic rivalry, now stood at the precipice. Their strategic calculus, once focused on deterrence, had evolved into a dangerous game of chicken. Meanwhile, Moscow, long isolated by Western sanctions, saw an opportunity. A quiet alignment with Beijing solidified, transforming regional tensions into a global power realignment. The Kremlin's whispered directive, "If America moves, we move," underscored a coordinated strategic posture, reshaping the global security architecture. The lines were starkly drawn, reminiscent of Cold War divisions, but with new, more complex dynamics. NATO, the bedrock of Western defense, faced a formidable, unified challenge. The emerging alliance of China and Russia presented a systemic threat, demanding a complete re-evaluation of global defense strategies. Then the trigger. A US drone operating in disputed international waters was shot down. Beijing declared it a violation of sovereignty. Washington condemned it as an act of war. The world held its breath, anticipating conventional conflict, but the initial blow was far more insidious. Global satellite networks went dark, communications fractured, and financial systems froze. This wasn't a war of kinetic strikes, but a silent, pervasive cybernetic blitzkrieg. Critical infrastructure, from hospitals to power grids, became immediate casualties, exposing the profound vulnerabilities of modern civilization. The systemic shock rippled across continents. From the Middle East to Europe, military forces mobilized with unprecedented speed. Russia's westward push into Eastern Europe was met by NATO's rapid deployment, transforming theoretical defense plans into urgent reality. Every nation braced for the unthinkable. In war rooms worldwide, the weight of decision hung heavy, hands hovering over launch protocols. Humanity confronted the chilling reality of its own destructive capacity. The prospect of self-annihilation, once a distant threat, became an immediate, terrifying possibility. Then, the Pacific alarms blared, a missile launch. The world collectively gasped, anticipating the final, irreversible act. Yet, in a moment of technological triumph or sheer luck, the missile was intercepted. Humanity had survived, but only by the slimmest of margins, a mere breath from oblivion. The aftermath was not victory, but survival. Smoke obscured horizons, economies lay shattered, and power grids remained crippled. The world was irrevocably altered, a stark testament to the fragility of peace and the devastating reach of modern conflict. The stock markets were gone, replaced by a global struggle for basic resources. In the profound silence that followed, a singular, haunting truth emerged. War had fundamentally changed, and with it, the very definition of peace. Borders proved meaningless. Technology, both weaponized and vulnerable, proved everything. The only force more potent than fear itself was the crushing weight of collective regret. This scenario is not a prophecy but a critical warning. It underscores the catastrophic potential of miscalculation, unchecked escalation, and the weaponization of our interconnected world. If war could ever truly be won, humanity would have achieved it long ago. The real defeat, the irreversible loss, begins the moment we, as analysts and strategists, forget who we are fighting for, the preservation of a future worth living. This hypothetical future demands our immediate and rigorous attention. We must critically re-evaluate our strategic frameworks, enhance our cyber defenses, and prioritize de-escalation mechanisms. Engage with these insights, challenge existing paradigms, and collaborate across disciplines to fortify global stability. The time for proactive, preventative analysis is now, before this cautionary tale becomes our shared reality.